my stance is one where I've seen people benefit. I've seen data that for people with a predisposition to psychosis, the high THC can be problematic. This is just what I've seen.
Yeah.
But you sent me a note saying that, first of all, that your experience with it has been good. So I want to give you the opportunity to share that. And then some of the things that you speculate about, because I'm an open book.
Well, to give you some background, I guess cannabis is a bit like cultural. In Birmingham, where I grew up, we have a lot of Jamaicans. So, I mean, Jamaicans, they smoke cannabis, they make tea. It's just a cultural thing. It's normal for them, right? So it was about, I had a couple of friends that their dads were Jamaican. So I was smoking it anyway, but I wasn't smoking it because I thought there was any particular health benefits. I was just smoking it and drinking alcohol, like hanging out. But my friends' dads who were Jamaican was like, oh, this is protects against this, and we drink tea for this, and the women take it for menstrual pain, PMS. So I kind of heard that, but I'm yeah, okay, whatever. And I would smoke occasionally when I was training. And when I went to live in Amsterdam for a little bit, as I said, I did a lot of reading, started reading about it. I started searching for studies, and I found there was massive, massive health benefits from THC and different cannabinoids. Some of it really counterintuitive, I guess, for people. You had Peter Attia on here, right? Mm-hmm. So you asked Peter, I think, what about smoking cannabis? How does that affect your lungs? And I think he was pretty much said, it's probably like the same as nicotine, tobacco, right? I think that's what he said. But he's probably not aware of a 25-year-long massive study that was done at UCLA. Dr. Donald Taskin, I think his name is. So they put these people into groups, cigarette smokers, cannabis smokers, and control group that didn't smoke anything. So after 25 years, what did they find? Cigarette group, we already know, right? Loss of lung function, increased cancers, blah, 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 blah. Yeah? In the cannabis group, and heavy, daily smoking, 25 years. I'll agree, because I've been heavily smoking every day for 30 years, right? So what was the effect on the lungs? Some negative, yes, because of the heat and the tar and everything like that. It could irritate the airways. It reduced somewhat the antioxidant layer on your airways. So statistically, you would be more susceptible to an infection, maybe bronchitis or something like that. Although, of all my friends, I don't know anyone that got it, but statistically, you would be more likely to get it. Lung function, interesting. 25 years of cannabis smoking. Compared to the non-smokers, there was a slight increase in lung capacity in the cannabis smokers.
I'll have to check out this study, yep.
No cancers. Other groups got cancers, but this one don't, after 25 years. So that's the lung cancer. So maybe Peter was not privy to this information.
Well, I'll check out the study. I'm not familiar with it, but I appreciate you raising it. I wonder if it's the THC and whether or not edible forms of THC would have the same effect, or whether or not it's the smoking of cannabis. So you think it's the THC?
You know Rick Simpson?
I know of Rick Simpson.
RSO, you know, Rick Simpson, anyway, he made a concentrated oil from cannabis. Now they sell it in all the pharmacies called RSO, although I spoke to Rick, it's nothing to do with him. He just, because he's the guy that originally did it in Canada, and he cured hundreds of people with cancers. He made a documentary called Run from the Cure. So the guy was growing cannabis on his farm in Canada, making the oil from it, because he discovered by mistake. He had some skin cancer, and he discovered by mistake that the oil got rid of it, and he started anyway. He was persecuted by the authorities in Canada because he wasn't selling it. He was literally putting his money into it, growing plants and giving it away for free, right? Watch the documentary, explains it all. And he was persecuted there, and he lives in Europe now. And there's a lady at the University of Madrid, Dr. Sanchez. she's proven in a lab setting, THC, you can even get the video, the speeded up video, literally eating the cancer cells.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. I think we're finally in 2026 breaking into new ground where people are looking at psychedelics, looking at other compounds, nutrition, et cetera. I do think I'm an optimist. I like to think that in part because of discussions like this and an open-mindedness that has not existed before, that we're starting to break new ground in at least exploring things, right? Being willing to explore things. You won't be shocked to hear, but many people might be shocked to hear that the initial group that was exploring different types of breathing to achieve different brain-body states, people like Stan Graff and all those people, a lot of them were run out of universities. They thought somehow it was looked at as too counterculture. Now, my lab, I'm not running a lab right now, but I still teach, but my lab has published clinical studies, right? Federally, well, in that case, privately funded, but peer-reviewed studies on breath work for anxiety control, breath work for sleep augmentation. And so to us now, like breath work sounds like the kind of like, oh, of course, right? But 20 years ago, if you said breath work, people were like, okay, where's your magic carpet? And there's the door, and let's lock you out.
You can manipulate your brain and your body with breath work.
Sure. Yeah, you can really shift your state.
And the thing with the cannabis, I've also seen it in my life. I've seen it with real people, and there's thousands of people out on the internet if you search.
Yeah, well, certainly for glaucoma, a field that I was involved in for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, eye pressure, cannabis is a well utilized tool to relieve eye pressure, and the major cause of blindness, second to cataract only, is glaucoma. Due to elevated eye pressure, and cannabis, it reduces.
Get a lot of
that's well established. And so in the ophthalmology community, they've really embraced it. I do have one question that I think is in the back of many people's minds, or should be. You were clearly, and still are, a very driven guy, although now you have this kind of
balance. I try to be balanced now.
Yeah, you have an additional, you have an on-off switch right now. Yeah. Maybe it was all gas pedal before. Many people that I know who smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah.
Some of them became very amotivated. They like
I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So you are a unique specimen in the sense that like you're super driven, right? And so I had this, dime store psychologist theory for a long time with my friends, which was, hey, if you're really driven, maybe you should do some things to relax. Maybe cannabis is right for you a little bit. But if you're lazy, I don't know if that's the right drug.
If you're lazy, you're lazy, right? Maybe it just amplifies it. There's a test you can do now. I don't know if it's here, but I did it in Spain. So we have an endocannabinoid system, right, inside your body, but it varies. So there's a swab you can do, and it gives you a report on your endocannabinoid system, right? And there was one of them is a likelihood of negative effects from 1 to 10. So the lady did my thing, and I was kidding around with her. I said, what does it say there? Do I need THC for life? Just messing about. She said, well, you're not far off. She said, look at this. The likelihood of you having negative effects from cannabis, you're on 1 out of 10. So, for instance, my wife, we've been married 12, 13 years now. Sorry, gal, if I made a mistake. She don't go anywhere near it. She feels totally paranoid if she has a little bit of cannabis. So I'm well aware of, different endocannabinoid systems maybe, or different personalities. So for some people, they will get a lot of negative effects. So you have to find out for yourself. But it's interesting that they got this test now that actually proves that your endocannabinoid system might be slightly different from mine. So I might benefit more from THC. Maybe you benefit more from CBD or a balance. So it's interesting now that we're able to get this information. And I'm very driven and I'm very disciplined. Yeah? And my wife thinks I'm hyperactive. I'm kind of quietly, look very relaxed, but I'm constantly thinking and moving. So probably for me, it's beneficial at this stage. And I'm having this discussion with my friend. Oh, it's not good and it's only for losers. I said, you like to watch that American football, don't you, on Saturday? He's like, yeah. I said, they did a survey with the NFL players and NBA players. How many of them use cannabis on a daily basis? In between 70 and 80%. So we're talking about the most elite athletes in the world, highest paid athletes. They wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't benefiting them. And they're saying it's benefiting them. But more to the point, how about the owners of these clubs? If they thought this was having a negative effect on them, they would stamp it out right away, but they don't. And these are, the basketball players are saying they smoke blunts before they go on the court, and they play better, and they recover better, and so on. And yeah, it makes sense.
So I would say it's good to hear you say that it probably varies by person.
Yes.
Your wife, it's not for her. It's clearly for you, and it probably varies by profession and natural drive, but maybe other things too. I mean, I know some artists, musicians who need to drink and smoke, and others who don't. And now nicotine's made a big comeback in the oral forms of nicotine. I feel like just like with dogs, there's tremendous variation in body size, temperament.
Even food.
Humans are different.
Some food, for some people, they're allergic to it. It gives them a bad effect, and somebody else not. So there's no rule that applies to everybody 100%. But cannabis has a very negative image, let's say, because of over 100 years of propaganda. Yeah, it was a medicine. You could get it on the shelves in America in 1900. It was for many things. Queen Victoria, the famous longest queen, she used to use cannabis for period pains and this and that. So it was used as a medicine for a long time, until the pharmaceutical industry came along. And then all of a sudden, they're making movies, if a white woman smokes cannabis, she's going to sleep with black men, and all kind of crazy stuff. There was one called Reefer Madness. Smoking, going to send you crazy. This is in people's minds, It's a bad thing. It's a drug. It's not. It's a plant medicine. And it grows from the ground like that. It's stronger now. It's higher in THC because it's been crossbreed and like a dog, You want a dog with a long nose. It's the same thing with plants. So people want to get more bang for their buck. So the breeders are trying to breed more THC into it. And sometimes this is not good for people because the CBD is kind of calmed down and balanced with the THC. Now the CBD is down and the THC is up there. So that's why it's more likely to make you feel a little edgy now because the THC is kind of active,